Hi, hello, how do you do? I'm Michelle, welcoming you back to the woods. Some of you, not a lot, but some, saw my last video, and many of you do know the struggle that 2020 has been for me. I lost my dad, my uncle, my cat, my job. The list goes on, but since posting that last video, I've also found the confidence that lies within honesty. Taking off that I'm okay for public mask has allowed me to be okay. I think it gave me a chance to just be for the first time since all this happened, because everyone that asks you, how are you? You know, what do they expect? I'm okay. They know it's a lie. And I'm not gonna lie anymore. It's a part of everyday life. We all lose people. We're all grieving for someone, and none of us should be shamed for it or for dealing with the depression that comes with that. So that's what today's video is about, is just the battle that grief is, and how with my personal battle with epilepsy, I'm not letting the two clash together and result catastrophically. Set the phone down. Might not be the most flattering angle, but I really don't care. As my last update said, I did get an up dose of Keppra in January, but since my world kind of came crashing down in February, it's very nerve-wracking, to say the least. Oh God. It might be starting to rain. I guess if I end up inside, I end up inside, but I'm glad we at least started in the woods. Yep, it's starting to rain. So I'm gonna run inside. Yay! We didn't get all the way back inside. It's not fully raining yet, but now my battery's dying. This isn't going as planned, you guys. During quarantine, it sucked, but I was actually kind of thankful for the world to just kind of stop a little bit, as bad as that might sound, even though there was really only a little period of quiet before the world went crazy. The state of the world and everything I've gone through this year, I believe, is telling me this is a year for change. This is a year that's gonna shake everything up, whether it be in your own individual family, whether it be in your own friend group, whether it be because of politics, whatever it is. This year definitely came here to shake it the fuck up. I think is making a lot of us at least realize what our beliefs are, what we want out of life. And since I've been unemployed since February, I've had a lot of people pushing me to just rush into getting a job since my unemployment isn't going through because of COVID and identity verifications and a bunch of meh. I've had people pushing me to try to get a job, and then I have to go into, well, I have epilepsy, I can't drive, but I also don't technically have epilepsy severe enough to get disability, probably. I am looking into that, but I highly doubt it's going to go through, but I'll still try. But, and the fact that everybody local pretty much knows and would consider me a liability. Whether it's the store where there'd be fluorescent lights all day, or a restaurant where it's a hot kitchen, none of that really would be 100% safe for someone with epilepsy, even if it's slightly controlled. I'm a liability. One bad thing, everything goes down the hill. But, all that aside, another thing that I've realized is that although I loved the 6 years I worked with my dad, it also made me realize a lot about careers and wasting time on things that in the long run aren't your passion. So no, I'm not just gonna take the very first job that'll accept me. And no, I'm not gonna lie about having epilepsy just to get one. I'm gonna take the job that accepts me for my condition, and I'm gonna find a job that is good for me. My husband's given me this permission even though we have came to hard times. I have resorted to selling some tie-dyes out of my closet, but they were meant to be sold anyway. They're crafts. I will be probably going to a farmer's market one of these weekends with some more tie-dye. So there's another thing that I'm finally, after months of nothing, doing to break out of that depression that I was in. I literally sat around for months, unable to fully process everything that I had gone through. And at the same time, replaying everything I had gone through to force me to process it. Some days, I wake up just angry, and others I've woken up sad or happy. Some days I've woken up unable to even feel. Everyone kind of seems to make it out like grief are chapters you get through and move along from. No, you don't. You bounce around from emotion to emotion within each one, and even on the days that you're okay, suddenly you're hit with a guilt from being okay. Even though you know the person you're grieving would want you to be okay, that guilt still slaps you in the face like, why are you happy when everything's not what it should be? Which brings me to 4th of July, where yes, in the state of our nation, where people are being mocked and ridiculed for celebrating the 4th of July, I did get with a couple cousins, light off some fireworks, and celebrate life.
Fuck yeah, that was
A little finale thing.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
To me, that weekend was, hey, these people still love you. You're still here. Live. And I know right now is a very hard time because people everywhere are feeling pretty stuck. And when you see other people living while you're feeling stuck, you get angry. I get it. I see people on unemployment getting all this extra money and just blowing it. I see people who've been working this whole time getting upset that people on unemployment are just getting extra money. And then there's people like me who can't do either at the moment. And yeah, it's frustrating. But at the same time, I'm in a boat where I understand you can't do that and live a happy life. You can't just get upset at the other working class. Because what good does that do? What does being upset at unemployed people do for you working people? What does being upset at working people do for us unemployed people? Nothing. It accomplishes nothing but hurt feelings, and I'm over it. This year has made us nothing but bitter, and even though I'm grieving and heartbroken, I'm gonna rise above it. I'm finally picking back up art projects that I set down in January. I'm finally doing things with myself, as you can tell. I can sit here and talk about the fact that my dad's gone, and yeah, it still breaks my heart. I can get through it without breaking down and crying, because I've been honest about my grief. I've let it sit on the surface, and it's made a lot of people worried or anxious for me, or they want to help, and I get that. Now the most helpful thing is just honesty for myself. That's what's been this turning point for me. Allowing myself to stop telling random people on the streets or even people on social media that I'm okay when I'm not has allowed me to become okay. I've allowed my sadness to become a part of my okay. Going through Dad's things has been interesting. Some things I've found just make me laugh, others just instantly break me down. Some inspire me. I'll leave it at that. I do have sort of a memorial thing planned, but I want to keep it on the down low for now, because I don't know who all in my family actually watches my videos, and I don't want to ruin the surprise for anyone. There's been, there's ups and downs. I've had a day where I was going to prove to myself I can do music on my own without anyone's help, and I got so close to doing like an entire song by myself, and then got frustrated and just deleted everything. I can't sit here and say that it's been a perfect ride, this whole grief thing, because it definitely hasn't. Honestly, with epilepsy being a factor, it's been terrifying. If I do have a seizure, I'm nervous that I'm going to wake up and my first thought or question to my husband is going to be, should we call Dad? And he's going to have to remind me. And then it's all going to hit again. And I know that's not something to laugh at, but it's a general, real fear that the only thing I can do is laugh at it, because there's a good chance it's going to happen. If I have a seizure, I'm probably... because that's what I always do when I come out of it, is call my parents. Call my dad, let him know I'm not going to work, or... So I'm hoping and praying that my upped dose of medication in January is the key. And I honestly think the only reason I haven't had a seizure is probably might be a little bit from the upped dose of Keppra, but also would be the vitamin. My mood the one that stabilizes my mood. Rhodiola, I believe is how you pronounce it. That one. It still seems to be what's working. And even in the midst of everything this year has been, I think it's also because of that depression hasn't been more prominent. There's a bee. Long story short, guys, I hope we can all learn this year. Fuck away, B. I guess long story short, I just hope we can all learn this year. I hope somehow we can get through it. I know most of us are just looking forward to November, getting through the election, but I don't know, man. It's crazy out there, and I think I was just simply raised to be kind and keep my head above water. And I'd like to thank my parents, both of them, for showing me how to do that. Mom, you are doing amazing. You're showing me how to be strong every day. And I love you so much. I guess that's the end of this, because if I keep going, we're just gonna probably get into some weird rant that this wasn't meant to be, and this is just supposed to be pretty much an update that, yeah, I'm sad, but yeah, I'm okay. Bye.